Hi everyone, and here we are back in Cyprus and Coffee and Chats episode 16.
And yes, sadly we are in the car.
Yeah, we was going to do it. We thought, right, let's go down, get a coffee, get Blakey an ice cream, keep him quiet. And he fell asleep in the car, so we've parked up in a car park with a takeaway coffee.
I kind of drank it too quick.
And here we are. So, episode 16, what I learnt from when I met Amy Winehouse in Rehab. True story.
True story.
True story that I met Amy Winehouse. True story that I trained her. True story I was in rehab, but not for the reasons that you are probably thinking. So yeah, so what must have been, 13 years ago? No, more than that. 13, 14 years ago, I was working in a rehab as a personal trainer.
I feel like it's story time. Like, you need some backing music.
And it was great, it was. It was in Essex, on a private island. No one really knew about the island. Like, I'm from Essex, I didn't even know about the island.
Is it like Shutter Island?
Yes.
Leonardo, have you seen that film, Shutter Island, with Leonardo DiCaprio?
It was a bit like that.
Hopefully not as cray-cray.
Yeah. Anyway.
Might explain a few things.
Anyway, so what has that got to do with, well, what's it got to do with weight loss, but also what have I learned?
What have you learned?
So, what has being in rehab got to do with weight loss? Now, when I was in rehab, I was having the guys were there, trying to come off of drugs, alcohol, whatever it was. Depression, they had anxiety, they had depression, they had all of that sort of there. And they had the therapists, and there was a team of us. There was nurses, there was therapists, there was trainers, there was personal chefs. It was amazing. Like, the setup was awesome. We had a great little team. And I just wanted to get to know a little bit more. And like, I was talking to some of the therapists and that, and like, the guys used to go in for therapy, group therapy or one-to-one therapy, whatever it was. And the guys that were going in, so the actual people that are trying to come off the drugs or whatever, they'll be like,
Amy.
they would like say to their therapists, I'm never going to touch coke again. I'm never going to touch, cannabis again, whatever their drug was, whatever their vice was. I'm never going to touch that drug again. And like, the therapist used to be like, bullshit, basically. He was like, you can't say that, because there is always going to be a time that you are going to be tempted to, and you probably will do it again. Also, it's like when alcoholics.
You can never say never.
Exactly, you can never say never. It's like alcoholics. Alcoholics should never say, I'm never going to drink alcohol again. Because if you think about it, they're always like, I'm X amount of days in recovery, whatever it is. And then what happens is that they then relapse. So by you putting all that pressure saying, yeah, I'm never going to do it, you then relapse, and then you then start to feel rubbish that you've relapsed, and then you just end up in a vicious cycle. You need to get Reese. So and that's what it is
Mum life.
Yeah, Kel's just going into the back to get Reese. So that's the thing, is that you should never say never. It's like when you're trying to lose weight, it's like, yeah, I'm never going to touch, I don't know, donuts again, following on from my post earlier. I'm never going to touch donuts ever again.
Never going to eat a cookie.
I'm never going to eat a cookie.
The pizza.
It's, like you are. Like, so don't say it. So that is it, really. Like, when it comes to weight loss, is that you shouldn't put yourself under so much pressure. It's the same as like with the guys in the rehab, that some of them used to put themselves under so much pressure that when they did do it, they then felt bad, which they then made them do it even more. They're in this fuck it face, which I like to call it, where they just literally do not care, and they just want to like go on a self-destruct. And that's what happens, is that you then end up going on this self-destruct, and then you then got to start all over again. You've got to build it all up again and start all over again. So instead of like going through that fuck it phase, just allow it. If once you allow it, then you see, once you allow it, then you're not putting that pressure on, and then it's all going to move forwards. It's all going to be okay.
Can I add my 2 pence there?
Your 2 pence,
Yeah,
or your 2
My
cents?
2 cents.
Your 2 cents.
You know when
Would you want to sit down and?
she's
Yeah.
You know when I'll try, but she might lose it.
Sorry, guys, if you're watching, let us know you're watching. Give us a comment, give us a like.
Look.
Don't forget to share it.
Dripping.
Yeah, go on. Your 2 cents.
My 2 cents. And it was right. It's how bad my baby brain is. Alright, right, it's back. When people come to diet, or lose weight, sorry, not diet, lose weight, we automatically think of everything we should be subtracting. But then what happens is, because we've told ourselves, like, okay, so I'm not going to eat this, I'm not going to drink that, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, it automatically feels like very constricting, and it feels like your world as you know it, your lifestyle as you know it, has just shrunk. And then what that puts a lot of pressure on what you want to achieve. And you know, we've all been there. I've done it many a times. You know, I'm not eating this, I'm not drinking that, I'm not doing this, blah blah blah.
You're taking away the things that you like.
But that's the problem, that's the
Shrinking.
mentality, because you're taking the things you enjoy, whereas you're like, actually what we do, you know, and I'm sure Ad's experienced this when he was working with Amy and that, is like, right, what can we add in to add more value to where you are now? It's going to help you feel better and move forward. Because what happens is, and from my experience with you know, trying to be too restrictive, I've taken things away, but then I end up on massive binges. Whereas if we have the mindset like we teach the guys, is actually what can I add in? What would I like to include in my lifestyle that's going to add more value, going to make me feel better, and I know that it's going to be for the long term. Because the problem is, when we subtract everything, yeah, we get that instant result, but it's not maintainable, and that's what creates these vicious cycles.
That's why most people, when they go on diets, they're taking everything away. Yeah, they're doing crash diets, which lasts 28 days, because they know they've got a holiday coming up, or they've got something coming up, or that, so they take everything away. Yes, they drop a shitload of weight, but then it's not maintainable because they haven't replaced it with anything.
But not that,
and
it's
they just
not
shrunk their whole life.
But it's not enjoyable, because, you know, we've touched base on this before. People are impatient. They want the results yesterday. So what do? We're like, and also, you know, so if we're working towards a time frame, so it's like, oh crap, that wedding's coming up, I haven't put in the groundwork in the time frame, so now
I'm getting married in 3 weeks.
Yeah, so now crap, I've literally got to eat dust. And whereas if you know, it all comes down to self-worth, value, and just being okay and falling in love with like the process. Because when you like start to fall in love with the process, you realise, yes, obviously weight loss is why you begin, because you want to, you know, lose weight, feel better in your clothes. But as you start your journey, you realise, actually, I'm starting to get more energy. My mood's lifting. I'm becoming a better parent. I'm calmer in my environment. Like, I'm becoming a better partner. I just feel you've got more get up and go. It, like, all these other things start to contribute to your journey. And yes, obviously the weight loss is important, but it's not the be all and end all. And when we start to focus on the other benefits, you know, you forget that fixation on the weight loss, so that becomes a byproduct of your journey anyway, doesn't it? So you're going to get there, but you've just got to remember as well, like, this is your journey. So, you know, be kind to yourself, give yourself time. Why here's the question, why do you need to sprint? Most people are where they are now, is taken sometime, you know, one of my recent male clients, he was in the same position he was for 30 years. So when we finally broke down, you know, the walls and understood that, look, you are where you are over a period of choices over the last 30 years. Why do you need to be there in 6 weeks?
3 weeks.
And also, why do you deserve to be there in 6 weeks? Because you haven't loved yourself and looked after yourself in that time. So now, let's get those habits. Let's start feeling better. And also, the slower it takes, well, good. Because the slower it takes, you know, you're going to learn from your mistakes. Or when some people say, oh no, I failed because I've eaten this. It's never failure, it's feedback. Failure in anything is only when you quit. It's just when you give up on you, you're never ever failing. All right, well, I've just said never, and we've said never to say that, but you're not, are you?
No,
it's
you're
feedback.
Not. Feedback.
You know,
you just find out ways that, well, you've just found a way that it didn't work, haven't you?
So, you know, if you feel like, oh, I failed at this diet or it's never worked for me, could it be that you've just been too restrictive? You've gone in too deep, too fast, too quickly?
Well, it's like when at the week, like you've had a bad weekend, you go, oh, I failed on my diet this weekend. No, you didn't. Like you
didn't.
No, you just need to take ownership of it, like, and actually just say, yeah, like, yeah, all right, I had the beers, I had the wine, I had the donuts,
ice creams.
Yeah, like, just take ownership of it. Like, no one like made you have it, did they? Like, you decided to have it, and once you actually take ownership of it and allow yourself it, then that's when you're then going to get the results, because you're not going to feel bad, you're not going to feel shit about yourself of what you've done. Is that you're just going to be like, okay, cool, I've had it, cool, I've had it, that's it, and then you move on, instead of going, oh, I've failed, blah blah blah,
and then
I'm worthless, you
just
like
slash
myself.
all the
Yeah,
time.
That's it.
You know, you end up slashing all your tyres.
No.
You get to be the one in the driver's seat, and you get to ask the questions. Okay, so that wasn't exactly what I wanted to happen. What would be the best thing moving forwards? So would it be, all right, so maybe I've just been too restrictive. If I allow myself to have a drink, you know what I always find a good thing, we get the guys to do it as well.
Yeah, but also the feedback could be, it's like, well, so all right, so I had the donuts, I had the wine, okay, so the feedback could be like not to have so much wine, or if you want to have that, okay, well, don't have the donuts. Okay, well, if I am going to be going out with this person, if that person's a bad influence, A, don't go out with that person, or B, have something to eat before you go, and then you won't need to eat when you're with that person, or C, drive. You know, like, there's loads of things, there's loads of feedback.
And the other thing you can do as well is like create the calorie deficit throughout the week, so you've given yourself credit, as we like to call it.
Yeah, that's what we call it.
A
savings account.
It's like a savings account, so like exactly the same like you would with money. So save it, and then you know if you are going to go out and it is going to be more of a blowout than you're used to, you've been good all week, you've saved your calories, so you know that if you do go a bit over, no stress, because you've done the work, you've put those calories in your savings account, so you're good to go.
So you know, the weekend you've got some spare change and you can have fun.
Spend it
on sweets.
I don't know what it is at the minute. I've got a real thing for cookies. I'm like, cookie monster.
However, though, we were supposed to be talking about Amy Winehouse.
Anything you'd like to add about Amy Winehouse?
You know what?
What did you find then?
I actually really thought she was a really nice person. I know, like, because it was, my dad, such a story. I don't know if I should be saying this, but she was also there with her husband at the time. And what's her husband's name? Mitch. No, I said Dad.
Oh, yeah. Soz.
Blake. Yeah, Blake. So, yeah, Amy's husband's Blake. And she got her hairdresser to come to the islands. Now, this was an island, and the tides, like, the roads were all connected by water and all of that.
Come to the island.
And like, you could only drive across when the tides were down. When the tide was up, you couldn't get across. And like, she'd organised her hairdresser to come on, but you couldn't get on by road. So like, they organised a boat for him to come on. And Blake at the time, he was like, well, I'm going to go out, I'm going to row the boat out and pick him up and all of that. And he like, someone, like, one of the nurses was like, no, you can't go in the water, blah blah, we're not insured. And and also, like, you're not qualified and all of that to ride a boat. And like, he was covered, same as Amy, head to toe with tats. And he was like, yes I am. And he just pulled down his lip. He went like that, and inside he actually had the word sailor tattooed on the inside of his lip. But anyway, that was that. But also, like, they actually, like, had gone really well with them. I thought they were really cool people. Played a lot of pool with them.
Can I just say, there's another conversation opener in this conversation. You're saying, can I just say they're really cool people? But that all comes back to judgment as well.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Like, people always used to think, oh yeah, you you take drugs, so you're a dickhead.
You're bad.
No, like, I'm being completely honest. Like, in my times of going out, I would always rather go out with people on drugs than would drink. Like, I never did anything. I never taken anything. But I would rather. You too. You'd rather go with people on drugs as well. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, but I would. Like,
that was a good sleep.
yeah,
Lee.
like I had awesome nights. I mean, because everyone's so happy. Everyone just wants to love each other. But yeah, I would. So I'd always rather, like, in the I know, like, we've got people watching. Like, let me know, like,
okay.
have you ever had the experience of it? You know, but I
Tell
would.
Daddy to stop chatting.
You want to get out? Okay, right. We're gonna leave it there. But guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Give me a like, give me a comment if you are watching it. Secondly, we have got another 5-day challenge starting on Monday.
Monday fun day.
So, on average, the women or the people in the group last time, in 5 days, they on average lost between 1.5 and 2.5 kilos in 5 days.
That's it. And to be clear, on that 5 days, no diets, no restrictions. It is absolutely free. So if you're just curious to know, actually, I just want to ground some new habits, what would that look like for me? Get involved, because what's the worst that can happen? You're going to drop a few unwanted
pounds from lockdown.
So
I'm going to put the link in the comments. Join the group, get involved, and we are kicking it off over the weekend. We had a great turnout last time. We had like over, how many people did we have in the group?
We had 75.
We had 75 people. So yeah, like, let's make it, you know, this time we're definitely going for over 100 in the group this time. Loads of chat, loads of information, and some awesome results. So guys, have a great day. I need to get Blakey out. Reese, I don't know what she's doing. And stay away from drugs. Bye.